council meeting in a couple weeks. So thank you again for that.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is John Martin. I'm the Vice President of Health, Safety and Environment for Eastern Canada here at Ellis Don. At Ellis Don, safety is fundamental to everything we do. We believe that the strongest safety culture is one that is always getting better. This means not only working every day to prevent injuries, but also ensuring that when injuries occur, workers feel empowered to report those injuries, and workers are treated fairly and supported throughout the process and the recovery. Workers should not face reduced income because they were injured at work. Ontario's workforce is changing. More people are choosing to work past the age of 65, and our workplace safety and insurance system needs to reflect that reality. At Ellis Don, we believe protecting our workers in their time of need is the right thing to do. And that's why we stand behind these measures to support every injured worker. Thank you. I would now like to introduce Jermaine Spencer to the podium.
Thank you. Construction isn't known for being the safest line of work, but I don't think most people truly understand how much training and how much safety precautions that we take every single day. From hard hats, safety glasses, steel-toe boots, high visibility vests, cut-resistant gloves, ear protection, respirators, and harnesses, we do everything we can to try to be safe. But even with all of that in place, accidents can and still do happen. Thank God
Major Andrew and every team here, First Ever Medical School here, First Ever Medical School here in Scarborough. Minister Piccini has dedicated countless times to ensure Ontarians in the workplace are safe and have accessibility to labor resources, and his continuous voice for Ontario workers have been pivotal at Queen's Park. And being here today in Scarborough shows Minister Piccini's dedication to hearing the voices of workers throughout the province. Thank you, Minister Piccini, for being here. Standing here at the future home of Scarborough's first ever medical school, we are seeing how investing in our community also means supporting the workers building it. Labor is the heart of our economy, and it is the dedication workers have shown that allows us to ensure that works and safety is available for everyone. Today is about recognizing the people who keep our province moving, our workers, and ensuring they have the support they need when it matters most. We'll continue to work and be the voice of Ontarians to grow our economy into the most competitive place to invest in G7. And next up is my distinguished honor to invite my good friend and colleague, Honorable Minister Andrea Khanjin.
Well, thank you, MPP Thunagazalan, and I want to thank him for his advocacy to build one of the first med schools we have here in Scarborough, and builds on our government's agenda to build up Ontario, which couldn't happen without the folks here behind me, in front of me, all around. I want to thank all the workers here today who help make these projects come to reality. And I want to thank John, I want to thank Jermaine as well, and the entire Ellis Don team for being here today. Jermaine, thank you for sharing the story of your colleague. It really shows you that this is a family effort. Each one of you have each other's back, just like Minister Piccini has every worker's in Ontario's back. Because stories like the one Jermaine shared with us of his colleague, it reminds us that even when a worker has not experienced a serious injury firsthand, they understand just how quickly things can change on a job site and how important safety is. And they understand that when a worker is injured on the job, red tape is not an abstract issue. Delays, complications, complicated rules, and administrative barriers have real consequences for the people and their families. And at a time of economic uncertainty, our government is focused on protecting Ontario and building the most competitive economy and in the G7, as MPP Thunagazalan underscored. And a big part of the work that's going to make us the most competitive is making sure our systems are actually working for the people who rely on them most. Since 2018, our government introduced 16, soon to be 17, red tape reduction packages. These are ideas that come from the field, from Main Street, from people like yourselves. And as a result, we've saved businesses nearly 1.3 billion and 1.8 million hours every year. And we're not stopping. We're also making it easier and faster for companies to navigate permits, approvals, and creating a stable, predictable business climate that attracts investments and drives job creation. You can hear it in the air. We're right now at an active construction site, and this is the sound of the economy moving. What you've seen through previous measures our government has introduced in terms of red tape reduction is making it faster, simpler, and easier for people to access income supports. That came firsthand from the people. Those ideas to protect take-home pay and by removing technical rules and administrative barriers. Because when someone is injured at work, support should activate quickly and without bureaucracy and burdensome paperwork. So I want to recognize that these ideas couldn't happen without the workers on the field and without Minister Piccini, who has been talking to workers from day one. It's his relentless work to keep workers safe, to keep construction sites continuously moving, and it wouldn't be possible to be here today without his great advocacy and his leadership. So I want to thank him for the workplace health and safety measures that he is doing today, and I want to invite Minister Piccini to the podium.
Thank you. Thanks, Andrea. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here this morning on this beautiful site. I want to first start by thanking John and the entire team at Elliston, as well as the University of Toronto for hosting us at the new U of T Med School right here in Scarborough. I mean, it's incredible to see right here behind us. The solar clad finishing, I think, is first of its kind that I heard this morning, probably the largest in all of Ontario, reducing energy costs. It's going to be a really energy efficient building, and it wouldn't be possible without the workers getting the job done. I want to thank my colleague, Minister Khanjin. It's a real privilege to work alongside Andrea and her team. We've got a great bill that we'll be soon introducing before the legislature. Andrea, thank you for your leadership in always making sure at the core of what you introduce is workers and the stories that they tell. Associate Minister Thanagasalam, Vijay's been a phenomenal champion for the people of Scarborough, bringing this med school into our community, and I love how he's never forgotten that all of this economic activity is predicated on workers and the people who build these buildings. I'm also joined by MPP Aris Babikian, who's been a long-standing champion for workers in the province of Ontario. You know, this is our team, and so many of us are here is really symbolic of the value and of the importance we place in workers who are the backbone of our economy, our construction sector. Gavin, WSIB's Chief Operating Officer, Jermaine, for your story. Jermaine, thank you for sharing that and the culture of safety you're promoting here on job sites. You know, it's a culture that WSIB shares, and I want to thank the WSIB for being here. I'm joined alongside two board members who've been instrumental in what we're introducing here today. Jim Hogarth and Sean McFarlane, both of whom have been champions for workers and have never forgotten to be those workers' voices at the table around the WSIB board. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Again, they sat down with me and they said, look, there's a couple common sense changes we can make that will support workers, and that's what we're announcing here today. And there's no better place to make this than on the home of this future medical school and integrated health, where Ontario's workers are building the next generation of healthcare right before our eyes. Construction sites like these are where Ontario's future homes, hospitals, and schools are being built, where skilled, demanding physical work takes place, and where safety is non-negotiable every hour and every shift. But even with the best safety measures in place, accidents can still happen. We just heard from Jermaine. He knows it. Everyone on a site like this knows it. And when an injury happens, the impact just doesn't stop at the work site. It follows a worker home. It affects their family, their financial security, and of course their future. Our government has an ambitious over $220 billion plan to build, to cut red tape, to eliminate barriers, and to get Ontario workers working. And this plan is backed by an unwavering commitment to safety and really working with our safety partners to drive safety culture on site. And we're joined by some of those incredible safety partners here today. Enzo, thank you for your leadership and the leadership of IHSA. Threads of Life, who have a big day coming up on our day of mourning. Thank you for your leadership. And just last week, we were at Choices in Hamilton, a group home living facility that serves individuals with developmental disabilities. And we extended mandatory WSIB coverage to over 29,000 frontline care workers and residential care workers who didn't have it before. Because whether you're a PSW caring for a senior in their home, developmental services worker, or a drywaller working 30 feet in the air, if you're hurt on the job, this government will be there for you, full stop. And even then, a worker who gets hurt on the job can still face real financial pressures while trying to recover. They may have to choose between paying the rent and focusing on healing, between buying groceries and medication. And that's not a choice any worker in Ontario should ever have to make. And that's why today, for nearly 3 decades, we know that hardworking Ontarians were ignored when they asked previous governments for support. Today, that changes. And I'm proud to announce that our government will introduce new legislation that will, if passed, deliver the first significant increase to income replacement benefits for injured workers in nearly 30 years. This proposed change would increase loss of earnings benefits that a worker receives when they're off work due to a workplace injury to 90% of their take-home pay. That's up from 85%, and again, the first significant increase in over 30 years in the province of Ontario. To put that in real terms, a worker earning $60,000 a year would receive $2,411 more in benefits over the course of the year, and that's, of course, after calculating taxes. And that's a meaningful increase that is long overdue. Money that will help cover the rent, the groceries, the hydro bills, where a worker focuses on healing and getting back to work. We're also proposing changes that would allow eligible workers to continue receiving loss of earnings benefits past the age of 65. For too long, 65 has been a discriminatory age cap, and that changes. That changes with the introduction of this bill, because right now, we know that those benefits stop when a worker turns 65, regardless of whether they plan to keep working. But Ontario's workforce is changing, and today we know that more than 440,000 Ontarians aged 65 or older are still in the workplace. More people are working longer, contributing their skills, mentoring the next generation, and keeping our economy moving. A workplace injury doesn't stop when being compensatable once someone reaches a certain age, nor should their coverage. It's not our place to tell a worker that their injury matters less because of their age. If someone is intended to keep working, they deserve the same protections on the job site as anyone else. In closing, Ontario's workers built this province. And I'm joined by a number of our ministry officials here today who work every day to keep those workers safe. The workers in our province build the buildings we live in and work in. They build the transit lines and the hospitals that we depend on, and they show up every day to do demanding work and keep our community safe and running. As a government, our job is simple: to protect them. Because when workers are protected, they know that their government is in their corner. They can do their jobs with confidence, with pride, and without fear. A healthy and safe worker is a productive worker, and we'll always be here to support them. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here today. I appreciate your partnership in this legislation. Thank you.
That concludes today's press conference. Thank you very much.